Hey, so a while back I made a tutorial for the song Can't Get Over You by Anthem Lights. Didn't necessarily like the way it came out, the way the guitar sounded, so this time I'm going to play with a different guitar. I'm not going to plug it into an amp. So here it goes. So the intro goes like this. I'll play it for you first and then I'll show you how to play it. Okay, so basically you're only holding two notes down, and your index finger is always going to remain on that low E string, and your ring finger is always going to be on that G string. And you're going to mute the A string, always, and then leave the D string open, always. And you can also sometimes include that B string, but I don't like the way it sounds, so I try not to play that one. So see, like right there it sounds fine. But if you go to like this one, it doesn't necessarily sound right. So yeah, this is the G with your index on the 3rd fret of the low E and your ring on the 4th fret of the G. And then go into the B with your middle finger on the 7th fret of the low E and your ring finger on the 7th fret of the G. Then you go up to the D and slide back up with your index finger on the 10th fret of the low E and your ring finger on the 11th fret of the G. And then it goes down to the A. So that's with your index on the 5th fret of the low E and your ring finger on the 6th fret of the G. The verse part's always the fun part because it has a really distinct picking part. And instead of playing them on these chords, just going to play on open chords. And the verse is the same chord order as the intro, so it's just, it goes G, B minor, D, and then A. So the only difference that I'm going to do, instead of playing complete G like this, I'm just going to have my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E. And then I'll show you which strings I pick. So the pattern that I'm using with my right hand, it's a little different for each chord. So I'll just go through it at regular speed, and then I'll slow it down a little bit for you. And then right there is where it loops or starts over or whatever. So a little bit slower, I'll try to explain it as best as I can. So starting with just my middle finger on the low E on the 3rd fret. Start with alternate picking on the low E and on the D. And after I hit this, going back to the low E, then back to the D and back to the low E again, and that's where you hit the next for the B for the B minor. So this time, instead of alternating between the low E and the D, I'm alternating between the A and the D, and still up picking on that B string. And then after that, you go to D. So I'm picking between the D and the G strings, and then hitting the high E. And the A, it's just like the B minor, but of course a different shape. So the same strings that you're hitting, basically. And then it goes again. Except the second time, instead of going to the D and then to the A, it goes from the B minor to the A. And then right there, you can go into the chorus. Now the part for the chorus, the chords are a little differently. And it goes from the G straight to the D. Except I've noticed when they play it, instead of playing your standard D chord, they're not playing that high E string, and what it's called is a D over A, and you're also playing the A string, so hence D over A. And so if that's what we're going for with the D. If you can want to play the open chords, that's cool because it gives it a chance to build up a little bit.